Let me tell you, you keeping him there, he's occupying the space of your future husband. Because this fool is not your husband. He's derailing your life, and he's wasting your time, and he's also wasting your childbearing years. How about that? Yep.
I robbed some women of their baby making years, dragging them along. They built me up. Look at me now, and look at them. You know, I remember different quotes I said, like just like really manipulative things to say, like, no one's gonna love you the way I do. My God, I'm ashamed of it. And that's what makes me angry when I see my brothers do that. We can't do that to the women that have done so much for us to even exist. And I saw myself for the first time. All the things I'm saying now, ooh, horror. Bit by bit, I stripped myself of my former self. And I swore that the next relationship that I would get in, I would work as hard at love as I worked in my career.
Hello, my darling Fumi Nation. How are you? How are we? My name is Fumi Desaluvold. For those of you that are stopping by for the very first time, you're so very welcome indeed. Are we living for the beat? Are we living for the fit? I'm just wearing a pair of jeans today, but the top is actually in collaboration with H&M and Paco Rabanne. Do we live? Do we love? Just something bright, flowery, you know. Anywho, at this stage, a lot of people know that KEKE Palmer was in a physical abusive relationship with Darius Jackson, with whom she started dating in June of 2021. I covered this over the weekend. Then I started to think about a lot of stuff, and I actually got the information from her mom. It occurred to me that Darius Jackson has been abusing her even while she was pregnant with Leo. When you do the calculation, the mother said that she had gone to Saronis, who is Darius's older brother, and complained to him about the abuse that the younger brother had shown to her daughter over a year ago.
Look, I've never done anything like this. I've been in this business for 22 years. I've seen a lot of stuff, but this is, I can't help myself. For Sharonis Jackson to post on his Twitter, the ridiculous stuff that he's posted when he knew his brother was abusive. I went to Sharonis over a year ago and told him that his brother was abusive to my daughter. And he said, well, I used to be like that too. What? So now he's posting on Twitter like he's this special guy when we know he's the biggest in Hollywood. He's disrespectful to women just like his little brother. He taught his brother how to be abusive. So he don't get to act like he's this special guy. No, you're a boy and you're a part of the problem.
Leo Days is only 8 months. How many months do we have in a year? We have 12. So if he's only 8 months, 4 months into her pregnancy, when she would have been 5 months, he was abusive to her. Physically abusive to her, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, draining her, all of that. And that is 12 months. She said over 12 months, which meant that she would have been maybe in her first trimester. 3 months, let's just put in 2 months in. This episode is about domestic abuse, not only for KEKE Palmer, for all of my babies out there, my baby daughters out there. I say it with majority of episodes, I'm going to say it here. I never had any daughters, and so I have adopted all of you. And you guys ask me questions all the time. And I thought, you know what, for me, let them know a little bit about you. Because no matter which way you want to look at it, I see in the comments, you're blaming KEKE, KEKE knew, KEKE this, that, or the other. That's not the point. The point for me is, what about all of those beautiful daughters of mine out there that are going through this and they are feeling scared and they are watching this and you're putting blame on KEKE? That just makes them want to withdraw all the more. And I want to tell you, my darlings, don't ever do that. It's not easy just to walk up. I got a lot of my sisters in African countries that don't have jobs, that don't have financial independence. Where do you go? For how long? These women have 3, 4, 5 children and they don't have anything. And I know you are watching me because I am getting your messages. It's a lot to unpack. And I completely understand that this right here is extremely, extremely, extremely hard for you. I tell you this is my advice. You have to know that you are being abused. You're abused, you're being ill-treated. Your children are seeing this. And as hard as it will be initially, it will get better. It will get better. But if you don't make the move, you're going to stay here next week, next month, next year, and the beatings will get worse and the beatings will become more frequent. Your children will see it. And your children, boys and girls, they become desensitized. Your daughters assume that that is the way to be in a relationship, that it is acceptable to have her boyfriend treat her this way. Your sons, that yes, I can treat my girlfriend, my wife this way because they saw it with mama. I've given you the story so many times, I'm going to say it here. There were 2 boys. They came from their respective homes, from their respective cities, after so many years to pay respects to their father. Their father was a drunk. He was a wealthy man. He was ill-tempered. He was an abuser to their mom. But he built a company and it was successful. But the people that worked for him were wary because of how he treated them. And so under the tree there was his old friend. And he saw the first eldest son come with his wife, with his 2 children, very well dressed. And he went up to pay his respects to the father. When he came down, the friend said, "You paid respects to your father. How is it that you turned out the way that you are?" And he said, "I turned out the way that I did because of what I saw." Translation, I will never be like my father. I will hold my family close and I will respect my wife the way that he did not in any way, shape or form respect my mother. He went on his way. The other son came and he was drunk. Yep, in the morning, he spilled out of the car. He doesn't have a job. He's been divorced thrice and he crawled his way up to where the gravesite was to pay his respects. When he came down, he saw his father's friend. And the father's friend said, "You went to pay respects to your father. How is it that you turned out the way that you did?" And the son said, "Because of what I was shown. And I adopted everything hook, line and sinker. And before you say it, I'll say it myself. My life is hell. I don't have anything. I'm miserable. This is my life. And this is my lot." It is so important that KEKE got up and left with Leo. Leo is a beautiful and a special boy. He is a beautiful and special boy. And I want to say something because I heard it the other day and it was profound. A gentleman was speaking and he said, our Father God always shows us the vision. Yeah? And he will say, for example, Fumi, you're going to get married. You're going to have a son. You're going to do all of these fabulous things. But what he doesn't show you is the plan of how to get there. Because you see, that plan for you, Fumi, you're going to endure disastrous relationships before you will get to Ula. You will cry. They will ill-treat you. They will disrespect you. And you know what? That beautiful boy, Adrian, you will go through 9 rounds of IVF. You will be 48 before the seed will settle in your womb. If the Lord had shown me the journey and shown me the plan, I would have said, I don't want the destination. It's too hard. I don't want it. I can't do it. I don't want to do it. He hides the journey, the plan from us, because every obstacle, no matter how dear that is to teach us. Those 9 rounds of IVF, those 10 years, it was for me to endure patience. As I have Adrian, I'm the most patient person in the world. The other day, Adrian broke my Chloe glasses, my limited edition Chloe glasses. And I smiled at him and I said, Adrian, you're not supposed to break things. I laughed at myself because I did not recognize the person I was 20 years ago. When Ula and I are together, and Ula sometimes tells me 1 or 2 things, and I'm like, say what now? I can laugh. I can be upset with him, as I showed in a former episode, and I can still laugh because I have learned to understand and respect the 2 sides of the coin. I needed to be more open-minded. When I see my husband in my vision, Ula was black, but my husband is as white as snow, because I had to learn to be open-minded so that the world can be open to you. My journey has not been easy. I persevered. I endured. I had the tenacity and I had the backbone, and I refused to give up. And so everything I have are blessings. I say this to all of my physically abused daughters and sisters that have children. That is your blessing. That is your flower. Focus on that flower, despite the fact that you're surrounded by thorns. Look into the good of the chaos, because KEKE could never have that beautiful boy, Leo, if it wasn't for this idiot, this monster here. I want to repeat, when a guy comes up to you, who he family? Who he family? Who are they? The second you brought Saranus, and Saranus was talking gibberish, Darius has got to go. You got to give it up. You got to give him up, because it's not about the good looks. It's about the good heart. I mentioned it the other day. No longer, my darlings, don't date down. Do not. I get, for this generation, you cannot. And let me climb on that. For me, it's not necessarily the money. It's the class. When a man comes up to you, who he family? And I want to know the men in his family, the male members in his family, be accountable for him. Let me tell you a little story. We had 3 weddings. It was important because my husband was Norwegian, he was white, he was from another culture, he was from another country, he was from Scandinavia while I was from Africa. We do things differently. But you see, good family is good family. Good breeding is good breeding, regardless where you go. No matter how black I am, no matter how white he is. So guess what? We started the weddings. We had the wedding in California. Why? Because that was where I had lived for 10 years. It was goodbye to my friends because I was going on to move on with my life. While we are talking about that, ladies, I did not sleep with my husband until our wedding night. I insisted upon it. Do not get me wrong. There were times when my panties were soaked. I could rinse them out. Yep, let's really call it like it is. This is some grown-up talk. But I said to myself, if I open my legs, I am compromising myself because he doesn't know me. I want him to know me. What's my favorite color? What do I like? What don't I like? What are my non-negotiables? What are my negotiables? You know why? Because while you're sleeping with this guy, that same guy is thinking in his head, why isn't this girl looking at me when I walk by? You've given him all the cookies. Let him trespass all over. The only serious power you've got for him to redirect and focus, because the other girl he's thinking about is not sleeping with him. This other girl is not sleeping sleeping with me? Why is she not paying me any attention? That's Lori Harvey.
Figure out what your non-negotiables are, and then don't ever waver on them. And I feel like oftentimes we as Black women feel like, especially when we get to a certain point in our life, we feel like we need to settle, or we just feel like we need to rush to get into something because maybe we want to be married by a certain age, we want to have kids by a certain age. And I think that is not how we should view love at all. I think we need to always remember that we are the prize, and set your standards high and don't ever settle.
If you don't want to listen to me, watch what Lori Harvey is doing. To me, really, Lori Harvey and KEKE has been an actress. She's done all of these things for years. And a lot of people think because you're a celebrity that you have access to all of this. No, you're working. That girl has been working like a beast for years. She has been protected and she has not been exposed to traitors and monsters like this Darius. She did not know any better. I have to give all of you, my beautiful daughters out there, that your bodies will develop faster than your experiences. I have taken the bullets for you. So I've circled back to come and tell you, don't do it, baby girl. Don't sleep with him. Don't open your legs. You don't even know what love making is. You don't. You think you do. You're doing it to please him, and he's just driving in and out, pumping heavily in and out of you. What did you get out of it? You don't know what to make love to a man, and for a man to make love to you really is until you hit that your late 30s, 40s, when he look at you and he'll be like, damn, he whooped. That's a woman. You're a young girl, still growing, still discovering yourselves. Trust me when I tell you, you're going to discover yourself in the bed sheets too. It's going to take a minute, and you want to take your time. Let him know you from the inside out. That's what you want. Lori Harvey there is dating them, dropping them like crazy. She got a good step pappy who is telling her, don't do this, don't do that. Do you know, my father's told me, Fumi, don't sleep with Ula. He told me. I was 39 going on 40. I love that man. If you have a good dad, there will never be a man that will really love you like your papa. He said, for me, don't sleep with him. Just calm down. I said, yes, daddy. I wasn't even shy. And he was right. And Ula, for his credit, he wasn't even looking for that. He said, for me, there's time for that. There'll be a lot of time for that. I want to know you. I want to marry you. I almost had tears in my eyes because it was the first time I was hearing it at 39. Yes. You see, I don't want you to think, ever feel that you are blamed. That's why this is a safe space. You didn't know. And for that, it's okay. I'm here to show you differently. I'm here to teach you. And so what happened? Lori Harvey has Stevie, Uncle Stevie up there, and she is really in a fabulous headspace. She will date you, she will break up with you. She will date you, she will break up with you. She'll do collab with Pretty Little Thing, collect her coin. She will go out, she'll just have her little virgin cocktails. She works out, she's taking care of self. You got to appreciate all of this. You got to take time to understand what you're appreciating. She's not out there trying to give you the cookie coo. She's not doing that. You will have that as a reward at the end of your classes. Did you learn everything? Because you kind of act crazy, you're out. So ladies, let me tell you, you have to marry your class. And it's the men in his family that will be accountable. We had our LA wedding, yeah? From there, where did we go? We went to Nigeria. My father is Nigerian, my mother is Gambian. Everybody showed up, 400 strong. My father told Ula, he said, let me tell you, my darling son, welcome home. But anything you do to Fumi, you do to us. Anything that hurts, upsets Fumi, you do to us. Meaning that we will hold you accountable. 400 of us strong. They had 12 brides, fake brides, to come back forth. Do you know who the woman? She was covered head to toe. No, that's not my Fumi. She doesn't smell like that. She doesn't walk like that. Her gait is different. That doesn't feel like Fumi. That's not Fumi's voice. African tradition is solid and strong. We do that because we need you to know that KEKE She is valued. She is treasured. We have nurtured her from when she was a baby, that we breastfed her, that she went to nursery. She went to primary school. She went to secondary school. We went to all of her plays. We sewed her Halloween costumes. We saw her graduate. We were there when she got the awards. We were there when she hit one show after the other. We've invested in KEKE. So if we give her to you, you got to know how valuable she is to us. And that is accountable for all of the women out there. Know your value. Know your value. You are valuable to your family, to your friends, to society. So when this clown shows up, trust me when I tell you, he's in deficit. He owes us a lot. That is why, Africa, you pay the dowry. Because I know the kind of international school fees that my papa paid for me, that we have been paying for Adrian. Adrian's school fees, nursery, private nursery. OMG, I did not know. I did not know. And you even have to get a place for these children. And I'm going to just hand over my son to you like that. And he come back talking about, you physically abused him, because it happens to men too. It happens to boys too. Like I said, you do to him, you do to us. So we got to come strong now. We got to come back and say what now? Darius needs to be terribly scared. Darius needs to be terribly nervous, because we are coming for him. And while we're still here trying to get our visas, our passports, Hollywood freeze their accounts. Himself and his brother, they came from a horrible home. Where is the father? Where are the fathers, father figures of these two boys? Nowhere to be seen, nowhere to be heard. Useless. This is for the abusers. I don't know what is running in your heads. Always remember, like I said, she's somebody's daughter. She's somebody's sister. And if you have children with her, she's your children's mother. It is an absolute honor that you're abusing. And if you don't have any sense between those ears, know that that could be your mother, that could be your daughter, that could be your sister. You not only are you a coward, you're not even a man. Because a man will never ever put his hands, beat up, punch, slap somebody that is weaker than himself. And when I say that, not physically as strong as himself. You do that because she can't hit you back. Because when I saw KEKE on the couch by the stairs, that child was trying to protect herself, and he had his hand up like this. That was what we saw. It broke my heart that we were not there to protect her. It broke my heart that we were not there to defend her. It broke my heart that, for me, the KEKE is not the only one. So many of my daughters are out there going through this. And that's what makes you less of a man. But you see, I tell you, every day for the thief, one day for the owner. Oh, Lord God, the time will come. The time will come. And every punch and every slap you bestowed on my daughters, it will come back to you. You see, you think that you've gotten away with it. And let me tell you, my baby daughters, when somebody treats you, when somebody steals from you, your happiness, your joy, do not ever think that God will not pay you back. He will pay you back and then some. And he will give your abusers a front row seat to see how well you are doing. To see how well you are doing. Because these men think that you will never amount to anything. I'm going to tell you a little secret. That's what they told me too. They said, you're too black, you're too ugly, you'll never amount to anything, Fumi. You will amount to nothing. You will be here, nobody will want you. They told me. I know, sure as I'm sitting here, they've been watching my YouTube channel. Balloon from 10K to almost what? 700. Pray God Almighty will hit 1 million. They did not know I'll get married. They did not know that, you know what? At the last hour before the garage door shut down like this, that Fumi would actually have a child, that Fumi will actually grow a baby in her belly and have a child, that Fumi would actually be a success, that she would succeed in the face of all of these folks at the age of 45. But yes, I did. And you know why I call it out like that? Because I really want you to mirror me. I really want you to be better than me. I really want you to be bigger than me, because yes, you can. Because these losers that you are with, that's what they are hoping for. Prove them wrong. Don't sleep with him. Do not marry down. He is below you in any way, shape, or form. He just can't compete with the fabulosity. I'm not only talking about the money. I'm talking about the class. I'm talking about the breeding. I'm talking about how he is as a man. Does he have ambition? Then he's got money. He doesn't have it yet. There's a difference. But if he's a layabout, lazy, scratching his nuts, he gotta go. He's got to go. You don't have two children. You have one child and you have a parent. And if he cannot be a parent, he gotta go. Darius lost every right to that boy when he put his hand on KEKE. And that goes for every man that abuses every woman. And we don't know about it, or we know. And God will enlighten and he will show you out. It is a disgrace. It's despicable that you would put your hand and slap and punch a woman. I saw the date. Useless Darius. I think it was 6:30 something a.m. Should you not be getting ready to go to work? Should you not? But he's so useless. He's such a useless fat. He's out there putting hands on KEKE. I'm shocked that you even have the temerity. Again, look at the home you come from. Shame on your mother, shame on your father. You brought shame to them. You have brought shame to them, and they have to carry the shame, not only with the brother, but with the brothers. So you have to go back and say, something ain't right in the milk. Something ain't right in the breast milk. And she fed these two useless human beings, and it's brought shame to your family, and it's brought shame to your name. That's all I gotta say. I am passionate about this because oh God, it couldn't be me. It couldn't be me. As you're hitting on me, I'm hitting on you back. I swear to God, it couldn't be you. It couldn't be me. I despise it. I despise it so much. I despise it. It's so wrong. And I cry and I weep and I think of you babies, because I say to myself, why doesn't she get up and go? We're here. If you think you won't get help, you get help. Go to the church. They say, you know what, the church is not the... Okay, fine. Then you know what? Go to where you know that you can get a safe space. But you can die there. This thing that went left, this Darius is he's mentally ill. And when they tell you that, oh, I will kill myself, believe and write it down. If he says, I will kill myself, translation, he'll kill you. Don't worry about him. He will kill you. He will kill himself. He don't care about his life. He's mentally unstable, but he will take you out with him. He will pull you down and he will take you out from your family, from your friends, from everything. And your children, who will look after your children? It's a murder-suicide. I want you to take that with you. If you don't take anything from this, take that. The second he said, I'll kill me in front of you, he will take you with him. Don't forget to like, to subscribe, hit the notification button, my darlings, and I will see you sooner than later.